super excited. Viewers, I can see your comments. Okay. So if you guys have any questions for amazing Vickie Griffith with her new program, I'm really excited to deep dive into this. If you guys haven't checked out the reason why she was on here last time with her playbook, y'all gotta go check that out because it is still available. It's still in play. I'm gonna use that play on word because that was fun. Yes, her playbook is amazing, and I got to hear a few testimonies from Vickie herself about how other clients have used it and transformed with it, and it was amazing. So go ahead and check that out. I'm gonna redrop the link just because I still love to share. So I'm gonna drop that link in the comments when we're all done here, so you guys don't get sidetracked and go look elsewhere. And then we're gonna also talk about why Vickie is back. Hello, Vickie. It is so good to see you again on the Meticulous Engagement screen.
Thank you for the invitation, and hi everyone. It's great to be back. I'm just so excited what I'm doing right now. It touches a chord on what a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs are dealing with, and I can help them get through it so they can have this lifestyle that the business provides for them without any more overwhelm or struggle. So, yay!
Oh my goodness, I love that so much. Oh my goodness. So, okay, so I know you, and I know that some of my followers have also seen you, but why don't we kind of go back just a little bit, and why don't we talk about, like who you are just a little bit. So, if you could explain to us kind of maybe like where you're at, how you got here just a little bit and just give us a little bit of like a backstory before we just jump right into the meat of it. That'd be awesome.
I appreciate that. Thanks. And I will try not to make this very boring because who wants to listen to somebody else's background? Here's the reality. I've been in business for over 20 years. And before that, for myself, and before that, I was running departments in big businesses. So I was running, whatever you think about it, Michigan State University bookstores, emblematic department. I was the buyer, general merchandise manager, and everything else in the bookstore except for books was my responsibility. And this was back in the late 90s. I got it to $1 million a year in sales, gross sales, which was pretty amazing in the 90s. That's a lot of money now, and it was a lot of money then. It was a fabulous job. Spending someone else's money is amazing. But of course, just like your own personal budget, you have responsibility to make sure that it sells and that the income is coming in. So great opportunity. And in the meantime, I was using self-development. In the meantime, I was imagining what I wanted in my life. And I was using hypnosis, I was using visualization, and stuff started coming true. I'm like, whoa, this is pretty powerful. How come we don't know this? Now it's getting to be more mainstream, but still, people don't understand they have an opportunity to change their outside environment by changing what's going on in here and in their heart. And so that's kind of my mission. And I'm driven to share with people how they can have better lives. I focus on business owners, but I also have clients who come to me for weight loss or relationships or just wanting to, I want to do better and I want to feel better. And that sounds really vague, but for them, that's really important. And so that's what I help people do is to find that better for them and have it in their lives consistently. Because we've all had those moments where example, weight loss. So I was in that for many years because I've released 70 pounds and kept it off now for 20 some years. I understand the pain. I understand the struggle around that. And I also understand the pain around getting on a program, releasing 20, 30, 40 pounds, and then gaining it all back plus because you've never really changed the root cause of your eating. And it doesn't matter what diet you pick, it will last for 2 weeks if you're lucky, a couple of hours for me sometimes. And the same things in our lives and our business. We can want to will a change for ourselves, and willpower works for a short amount of time. That's why God gave it to us. But it's not going to take you on the marathon run that a lot of these changes need to be incorporated. And so that's what I help them with too, so that it's more easy to make the change and have a permanent change, so they're not always reworking the wheel, regardless of what their goal is.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to give us a little bit of a backstory. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to dive into your new program. I was hoping that you could kind of give us like a little bit of a background. So, when we talked about it, we're talking about say farewell to a client wasteland, ditch mind numbing tasks and agonizing cold calls, and step into a future where success flows effortlessly, clients seek you out, and your income soars, no extra hours, and no lost sanity. Girl, that's a lot to unpack. And I love it. Like I cannot wait to do this with you. But if you could just go back just a little bit and help us figure out exactly what that means. Like for one, say farewell to a client wasteland. Oh, okay, you got
Well, this is what I've been discovering is a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners. Now that you could be a coach, you could speak, you could be an author, you could have a small business where actually selling product, but your product isn't selling. No matter how hard you're working, no matter how much marketing you're doing, how many posts you put on social media, nobody's showing up and nobody seems to be interested. And how this how this came about was I I was at a networking meeting. I do a lot of networking to grow my business. And there was a gentleman, and I had a one-to-one conversation, and he was completely running his business out of fear. And what happens when you run your business out of fear? One, you're overwhelmed all the time. You're exhausted because you keep running from one thing to the next. And he wasn't getting any clients, none, zero. He had zero clients. Now, he has a type of business that he doesn't need many, and his goal was three. That's all he needed to supplement the income he had when he worked in corporate. That's it, just three. But yet he kept showing up to places he shouldn't be showing up because that wasn't his client, because he felt like he needed to do something in order to get the client base. And so from all of that, tearing his hair out and the lack of sanity and what should I do and all the doubt was just agonizing. And I asked him, when do you want to stop running your business out of fear so you can really attract clients? He said, right now. So he has been working with me for a little over a year. He has surpassed his client limit, and he has a multiple six-figure business because we were able to align him to the client. We were able to identify who those were and where he should be and remove the doubt and the fear, so that he could operate out of confidence and calm. And that's how he's attracting these people to him. Is he showing up and doing the work? Yes, he's doing that too. But unless you have, like we said, your mindset and your heart set up, and if you're starting out, you don't know where you need to be. Sometimes you don't even know who your client is. So that's what this is about. It's called the Client Queue Intensive. And it is about filling up your queue, maybe even have a wait list. Can you just imagine of people waiting for you? Because it does happen. And so that you can do so without, like I said, without the overwhelm that creates our sanity, those sleepless nights, those, oh my gosh, can I really do this? Maybe I need to go get a real job, those type of things, so that you can actually grow your business.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. And that's awesome that he was able to figure out that he was like, you of course had to like say like you're running your business out of fear, because I'm sure that he didn't realize it at the time, but then once you said it, I'm sure it just like illuminated all of those dark parts, and he's like, whoa, that's a lot. That's amazing though. And now he's making six-figure incomes. This is incredible. Guys, if you are here and you're watching the live, go ahead and I would love to see like a heart, a thank you, or if you have any questions, absolutely. You guys know this is an open board to ask questions. All right, we're gonna keep on going, friend. Um, what elements need to be in place though to achieve from an empty to a full client load? What does that look like?
Well, it's kind of the three things I've already talked about. First, you need to identify who is your clients. I like to resonate with my clients, but I need to find the ones that want to resonate with me. So who are they? So we're going to identify who those are. We're going to align with them, and that takes more than what social media platform. Right. So yes, there might be a social media platform that those clients are on, or a meeting that they're in that you can align with. So that's the practical side of it, but it's more than that. We need to mentally and emotionally align with our clients. And it's the step, it's a huge step that a lot of coaches miss. Because if you are not emotionally, mentally, spiritually even aligned with who it is you want to attract into your client load, then you're going to attract people that you don't like. You're going to attract people you don't want to work with. You're going to attract people that maybe can't afford you. And there's nothing worse than spending time doing, I'm going to call them sales calls, which I know scares a lot of people, but that's really what they are. So it might be a discovery call, but breakthrough call, whatever you call it, but it really is trying to have a conversation about whether that client is right for you. And there's nothing worse than having that same client that doesn't align with you over and over and over again, wasting a lot of your time and looking for something for free. So we're going to get you out of that mode as well and give you practical steps. So now you know who your client is, you're aligning with them spiritually and emotionally and mentally. Now we're going to give you practical steps. Where's the gaps? Do you need to change networking? And for the gentleman I was just speaking of, we needed to change his networking. He needed to change where he was showing up. His clients weren't at all these places. It was wasting his time and spending a lot of money, by the way, because not all these networking groups are cheap. And so we just changed that. We tweaked that. We tweaked his presentation a bit, and that was really all it took. And did he do the work? Of course he did. I mean, I didn't do the work for him. He did it all. So that's what this is about. I am just so frustrated, and I am in somewhat suffering and agony because so many entrepreneurs, small business owners don't have the clientele that they need to live the lifestyle they want. And guess what? Most of us started our business because we had a dream. We had this desire, this craving in our heart to help people. One, right? Number one, help people. So that hurts our heart when we can't, we don't have enough. And to create the lifestyle. Maybe it's for your family, maybe it's for your kids. I often hear my clients say, I want to be able to give my kids the experiences I couldn't have. That doesn't mean toys, but that means going to the park with the whole family rather than somebody's missing because they're working, or taking on a cruise, whatever it might be. It could be a huge type of a dream. That's why we went into business. And it hurts to watch a lot of people get worn down and believe that they can't have that because they're not attracting the clients that they need to grow their business.
Exactly. And that sounds, because my next question was, what fueled you to do this mastermind class? And I kind of feel that you just said it. And I absolutely love that because you're right. As entrepreneurs, we get so wrapped up and then we get scared and then like we're chasing it and then we're fearful and then we're go-getting. Like it's a lot. So I'm really excited for this masterclass to go ahead and zone in. And I love where your heart of gold came from and now you want to help it. So thank you so much for
Oh,
doing
you're
this.
welcome. And I thought that it was time. It's time. It's time to have this intensive, to have this intervention, because too many people are suffering. And so I'm sorry, but you need this. If you don't have the clients you need, this intervention is for you so that you can fill that client list.
Talking about this, when is your master class? We never went over like the time or the date or anything. So let's back this up just a little bit. Yeah, can we go over those details really quick?
Absolutely. So the first one is going to be November 30th. It's at 1 p.m. Eastern time. It is a virtual event. It's 2 hours. All you'll need to bring is some paper or a pen or something to type into on your computer. It's going to be interactive. So we're going to be working along together. However, this is something that I will be running frequently, whether that's every other month or once a quarter. So if you miss it the first time because of the holidays, I get that, but this is a perfect time to do it. because it's just before the first of the year. And it is on a Black Friday special. So you can get it for $47. It's a $197 course. So that's 75% off for Black Friday.
Again?
So it's $197 normally, and it's $47 for Black Friday. So up through Thanksgiving Day weekend, the Monday. So they have all this time, if you're watching this right away, to get in touch with me. You can just direct message me. We'll give you my email address, and we'll get you the payment link so you can be in this class on the 30th. So you have a head start above everyone else who's going to wait until the first of the year.
Guys, I see this as a no-brainer going into 2024. Like, I am sitting here and I'm like, this sounds really like an amazing mastermind class just to dust off everything and take everything that did work in 2023 and then reshuffle it and refocus and go after it in 2024. This is amazing.
Thank you.
We kind of talked a little bit about the wasteland, the client wasteland, but is there anything else that you would like to add into that? Like, is there anything deeper?
Well, there is, and it goes back to personal responsibility, because as I said, everything that's on the outside of what's happening for you is coming from within you. So if there's a misalignment from what you want to what's happening, then that needs to be shifted. And there's a whole lot of reasons why, and there's a whole lot of reasons how that can happen. Many of them are based on science. Many are based on quantum physics. Many of them are based on neurology. So how do you change your brain? And the subconscious mind, how do you change the subconscious mind? How do you get rid of that fear when you know you're running your business out of fear, or those thoughts start overcoming that I can't do this, what am I thinking, I'll never amount to anything, all those things that you may have been told or you assumed about yourself from a child. So some people were never told that. I have had clients who came to me and said, my parents adored me. My parents were amazing. I couldn't do anything wrong. They were always cheering me on. They were always there for me when I was at basketball game or art class or whatever I was doing. And they always, even if I didn't do well, they're like, well, yes, you didn't do well, but we know who you are. It wasn't a definition of them as a child. So they had this amazing childhood, but yet they're still sitting in my office going, I don't feel like I'm enough. So we had to kind of unravel that. Isn't that crazy? We all think that we wish we would have had a wonderful childhood. And I can tell you from my experience in my business, people who have had those experiences still feel like they're not enough. So that's just one of the self-sabotaging archetypes that we have. There are 4 of them. And I also take my private clients through that quiz so we can figure out what theirs is, so we can work more deeply through that so that they can release it and move through things, even if the fear's there and even if the doubt's there. So that's what we work through. That's the deep side. And that's the scary side. And that's what someone just said, time out, I'm out. Because I don't want to go there. I don't see how that relates. I can tell you what you're feeling on the inside is either attracting your clients or pushing them away. And if you feel doubtful, and if you feel fearful, and if you are like, well, maybe I really don't want that many clients, that's exactly what you're going to get. And that is what the intensive is for, so you can shift that quickly so that you can get the clients that you want in your business.
I love that so much.
Is that
okay?
scary?
I have an off the cuff. Yeah, it's scary. That sounds so scary. Okay, because I have an off the cuff question.
Sure.
How do you then feel about entrepreneurs that are like, well, I'm just gonna fake it until I make it? Because I think that some entrepreneurs, and I'll be honest myself, you look the part, you act the part, and you just fake it until you make it. How do you feel about that though? And what would you say to somebody like that?
It's an interesting concept, and I can say I've used it throughout my adult life many times. I remember when I was giving my thesis for my bachelor's, and so it was an oral presentation. I was scared, and I knew all these techniques, and I was still scared, and I was shaking. My knees were shaking, and I did it anyway. So that's kind of a faked it till I made it. You know, I just saw who I wanted to be there, even though I was shaking, and I did it anyway. So sometimes it's more that it's move through the fear and do it anyway than it is fake it till you make it. It doesn't hurt to have an idea of who that person is. So when I was a teenager, I always saw myself in a business suit, so a women's business suit, and a briefcase. And I didn't know what that meant. I had no idea what that meant, but that's how I saw my future. That was my future. That was a future me. Now, did I continue to fake it? No, I just saw that as who that was. And it ended up that I ended up becoming a bookkeeper for a jewelry company that had several locations. Ended up becoming a bookkeeping supervisor for several of those locations. And guess what? I would go to the corporate office in my business suit and my briefcase. So it happened because of my visualization. I wasn't pushing it. I wasn't faking it. I was just doing it. Now, when I got there, sometimes I felt I had to be someone else wasn't sure I was. And that's okay too, because it was what I knew I wanted to be. I wanted to pretend I was confident, even though I felt like I didn't belong. So sometimes yes, and I don't fake it till you make it is really a difficult term to agree with, but on the other hand, I think we do have to sometimes pretend or be the person we're not to push us through the fear. And that I absolutely agree with.
I love that so much. Yes, because I can relate to that because I know exactly what you're saying. Like, I was listening to a music artist, I think it was Lady Gaga, and she was saying that like she lied to her audience saying like I am the best selling, women's records or something. I am the best. And she was using that so early in her beginning where people are like, no, you're not. Like we know that you're not. But then when she made it, she was able then to take all of those I ams, and then she turned around and she goes, now I actually am. And she goes, I wasn't lying and I wasn't saying like lies to my audience, but I was using it to go ahead and build it and change her minds to shift. So
yeah, absolutely. And I am statements are extreme. This is totally off the topic that we're talking about, but I am statements are extremely powerful. So however you finish after I am is who you are. So if you say I'm not enough, or I'm too fat, or I'm too short, or I am, not smart enough, or I can't do this, or what I am not smart enough to do this, then you're going to be that. So changing it to I am, like she said, I am a women's superstar, even if she wasn't quite there yet, she believed it. And that's the difference between how people shift their mindset is it has to be believable. Your I am statement, if you want to be something else, it has to be believable. And you have to believe that it could be possible for you. And that's where the disconnect happens. She obviously believed it could happen to her. Me in the business suit with the briefcase, even though I didn't know what that looked like, I believed that could happen to me, even though I was a fat, over 200-pound teenager. I believed somehow that was going to happen to me. So it's not that you're lying in that respect, you're just assimilating the person you want to be, and you're taking steps to be that person. So releasing the doubt, releasing the fear, that's where the disconnect is. When you have an I am statement and you don't believe it, that's where the disconnect is. And that's why it's not coming true. And that's what we're working on in this class.
I am so excited to go back and edit this because what you just said was pure gold. I know it was off topic, but it was beautiful. Okay, so my next question is kind of a no-brainer, and this is exactly what we're talking about. Why does mindset matter so much, though?
Well, this is where the hidden secret of being successful really is. Everyone says it's push hard, work hard, nose to the grindstone, do everything right, whatever right means, in the right way, act a certain way. So for the longest time, I thought I had to act as if I was something that I wasn't. And now I'm kind of like, I wear t-shirts and blue jeans. That's who I am on an everyday basis. And so I show that more. That's my true authenticity. I thought I had to dress out for every meeting I went to, like I was going on stage. I do talk on stage and I do dress for stage, but I don't have to dress up for the networking meetings to look that part. So that's the mindset. Is how does the mindset shift everything? Again, it goes back to, what do you want to see in your outside world? And if you're not seeing that, that means it's coming from here. So if you're not in the relationship that you want to be in, that's because there's something going on in your mindset and your belief system about you that's being pushed out into the world, and people are not paying attention to you. You're kind of invisible. And the same thing with our business. So if you don't feel like you are good enough, or you're in that imposter syndrome, which is a real catchy little term for doubt, basically, but you're doubting yourself, you don't doubt. I mean, I have had clients who've had tremendous amount of certifications. They've had clients, but yet they still are in doubt that they can have a successful business. And so we shifted that. This dude's a travel agent, and now he has sold out groups that he travels for and with, and he's got referring clients coming back to him now. So by eliminating that out picturing of what he thought he was, by deflecting the people who might be working for him because he had his doubt, and he changed that mindset, he's able to grow his business. And not only grow his business, other things in his life has changed. So because he feels more confident, his relationships have improved with his wife and his son, and with family, and with clients, and with friends. And I mean, other things improve as well. So it's not just a one-sided pancake. It's kind of like this whole round of of experience that happens because you've shifted what's going on in your thought. What's mindset? It's your thoughts. That's all it is. What are you thinking about every day? What do those thoughts create that you believe? And then what's the story behind it? So you create a story. And here's what's fascinating to me, and this is why we need to be in trouble. We need to not be in trouble. This is why we need to pay attention to this, right? Our brain will fill in the dots of any story. So if your brain creates a story about something that just happened, let's just say you had an argument with your best friend, and then you start creating a story about what she said, what you said, and how she's feeling, and how you're feeling, and it's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, bigger blossom of the story. 80% of it's not true because your brain makes it up. And I'm like, okay, I need to control this piece of my brain that's making up these stories that aren't true. Or maybe you've had a scenario that you haven't even been in yet. So you're thinking about an argument you're going to have with your husband over something, but you've never even had that argument, or that's never happened, so, or it has happened, and this is how I'm going to talk to, and your brain's making it up. It's making up how you're going to communicate, how they're going to react. None of it's true. It hasn't happened. So that's it's funny. It is, but it is physiologically what's happening in our brain. But we can change that. We can control that. We can tell it to go away. We can rewrite the story. And I've had clients, kind of goes back to the fake it till you make it. I've had clients have really horrific things happen in their lives. Really horrific things happen in their lives. And I've had them rewrite their story so that they could walk out of that story feeling whatever they wanted to feel. And sure enough, they did, because it changed the story in their brain. And what we feel, think, and believe is the outpicturing of our world.
I love that. That is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. I have nothing else to add to that. Like, that was just so beautiful and just so perfect. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go into the next question, because it just segues so well into all of this. With being a business owner and having bills to pay and wanting to create a lifestyle that would provide our kids or grandkids with all the opportunities that we may have never had, what do I need to do to make money?
So some of the things that you might be hearing yourself say is, I can't get myself to do it. So there is a money block going on for you. There's something going on that is deflecting you from doing the work that you need to do, or there's a belief system that has been created. I work hard, I don't get the results I want. So eventually that's collecting evidence. So you're collecting evidence that says you'll never make it, rather than saying, okay, I'm working hard, I'm not getting results, maybe something needs to be changed. So what you're doing, instead of going, I'm working hard, I'm not getting the results, so nobody loves me. That's kind of what we say to ourselves, right? Not in those words, but I'm not getting the results. And it's kind of like what Einstein said, we keep doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for different results. We keep trying it. Well, maybe that networking group isn't the one you need to go to. Maybe that marketing campaign isn't what you need to be doing. Maybe there's some other marketing that you could be doing. Maybe you just need to rework it or tweak it or change the title. There's so many authors, especially. And one of them that I watch a lot, I appreciate her work. Her name is Pam Grout. And she wrote a fun book called E Squared. And it's all about law of attraction, law of cause and effect, and how to increase your prosperity through using law of attraction. And she gives you exercises like go to the dollar store and put dollar bills or $5 bills or whatever you can afford in different places in the store with a note on it that says you're amazing and you're awesome, and walk away. So it's just little experiments like that, so you can increase your consciousness around attracting to you. It's called E Squared. Now, the funny thing about that story is that book is she actually had a different title on it, and all the publishers said no, put it on the shelf for 5 years, change the title. First publisher picked it up, and it was like a national New York Times bestseller. So sometimes we just need to tweak something just a little bit, and then it becomes successful. But yeah, we take something and we feel it's failing, and we put it aside forever. Oh, that's not going to work. I can't do that. I've worked too hard on this. That's evidence that this is never going to work for me. And then we just put it away and forget about it. And there's something wrong with me. Nobody ever wants to be my client. And all the doubt starts happening. So that's again that story the brain creates, right, about yourself. So that's sometimes having a coach to just say, well, let's tweak it, rather than this is an ultimate failure. So those are some of the things. And I think we have to redefine failure too. I think that failure is given a bad rap because I've failed many times in this business. However, it's always taught me something, or it's taught me a way to do it differently, or another door is opened because of that failure.
Exactly. Holy cow, we could spend like a whole nother topic on just failures and then turning them into success.
Right,
So,
absolutely.
what other shifts have you seen with your clients that go through your mastermind class? I know we talked about that one gentleman, but I'm just wondering, are there any other stories that you could possibly share with us?
Yeah, I talked about the one with imposter syndrome. I talked about the one that was just operating business out of fear. And that happens a lot. Recently, I had a couple of clients, and this is very touching to me. A couple of clients tell me I had helped them to just be able to change their lives, not only their business. And one was having some physical stuff, and we were able to help her move through it. And still operate her business. So that was pretty amazing. I've had somebody who just went through the playbook that you had mentioned, and she was like, I am a totally different person. She goes, I never really thought about this kind of stuff, the money blocks, the gratitude, the spirituality behind my business. And she goes, I never thought about it. She goes, now that I'm thinking about it, things are just coming to me because I'm feeling grateful and I'm feeling happy. And how do you put a price on that? How do you, that's what she said. Because for the first time I feel happy. And that's not something I can say, make $10,000 in 10 days, or which is crazy. You could, but those kind of claims, how do you put a price on happiness? You can't. And because of her happiness and her gratitude and her shift in her mindset around money and where it comes from and how, what it, what her definition is of it, her business is all changing. And not that the business is changing, but the clients are coming to her. Just like I talked about the client wait list, she's got clients coming to her now. She's not putting a whole lot of effort into it. She's doing the same old regular things she's doing in the past, but not anymore. Not any more hours, not any more posts, not any more cold calls, not any more than she was doing in the past. But yes, she's getting more clients. So that touches me in ways that I have a hard time expressing in words what that means to me.
Oh, absolutely. That's amazing. Oh my goodness. Okay, you just listed off like quite a few different programs that you have. Can you go through your different programs that you have available? Let's start with this one. What is this one's name? And then we'll mention Playbook again. And then anything else that you would like to share with us.
Sure. So the Client Queue Intensive, so flip the switch in 35 days to the client queue being filled. And the Client Queue Intensive, flip your queue with the flip of the switch in 35 days.
Okay.
Okay. And that is a 2-hour masterclass. So there's that going on. I have the Playbook. Playbook is a 30-day experience in which it's somewhat self-study and somewhat group. These are all virtual, by the way. And that is the one that the last client I just shared with had the experience with. So it's a group program, and every day you're having an assignment to do that's 5 to 10 minutes or less. So that, and it's opening up a whole lot of interesting ideas that people may have not thought of. I have the Client Queue Headquarters. That is a 6-week course. And I actually have a 6-month online course. It is called the Ultimate Money Blueprint. That's a business, business oriented as well. It's a little more in depth than the 6 week. And most of my clients actually also work with me one-to-one. So I have that level as well. Private client coaching, they can get access to all the other stuff if they want it. Most of them don't. They just want direct one-to-one coaching, working on their situation at the time they're in it. And that works really well.
Is there anything else that you would like to add before we go?
I actually have a freebie. So you don't even have to invest with me at first if you don't want to. It's called 15 Ways to Make $1,500. And it's a PDF. And I'll be glad to share that with anybody. I just need an email address. So again, they can get back in touch with me through, I'm sure you're going to share my email, Vickie@VickieGriffith.com. You can direct message me through Messenger. So that works as well. I am out there and about everywhere, so it's not so hard to find me.
Oh my gosh. So your freebie is 15 ways to make $1,500, or $15,000?
No, $1,500. It's 1,500. So 15 ways to make $1,500. Yeah. And typically these are
Okay,
like, take you under 15 minutes. So ways that you can find that income. And it's not just through your business. Some of it is. Some of it's other ways you can get that income as well.
Right. Well, just before Christmas, I mean, that just sounds like a no-brainer to go ahead and send you an email and say hello.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Oh my goodness. Vickie, I have loved this so much. Facebook, if there are any questions out there, we had a couple people jump in and say hello and stuff, but there were no questions. But if anybody is watching this and they have any questions, go ahead and ask them, and I will, of course, ask. But I am not seeing any. Okay. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions on Facebook, friend.
Well, hello, everyone who was on. So appreciate you coming in.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, we still have a person watching. Exciting. Exciting. Vickie, this was absolutely beautiful. And I am so excited to go in and talk with you more and go back and go listen to how much mindset can change your inside world, like your outside world, your inside world. Oh my goodness, I am super excited about this. Thank you, friends, so much for sharing all of these golden nuggets.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for asking. I'm so grateful to be here.
Absolutely. Well, then with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign us out.
All right.
So, I am Amber McCarty with Meticulous Engagements, where it is my business to know your business so I can keep sharing it with the world, friends. All right. Have a great afternoon, friends.
Bye-bye.